Hello everyone and welcome to State of the Realm, well actually we've been doing pretty good on the weekly thing the last couple of weeks, but it'll never stop being a point of discussion for the intro to the show, so hi! Fortunately, today we do have a decent bit of news to go over. There was a live letter recently that we omitted talking about last week in favor of our WoW X14 show. There's a Q&A after that that I've only briefly glanced over, but I saw some interesting things in there. And we had, of course, our surprise benchmark release and all the little analyses of the things that we see there and the discussion those have brought forth. So, let's get into that. I'm one of your hosts, Mr. Happy, and of course joining me, as he does every week, my beacon of light, my shining hope, my unsaltifier, Sly, aka Greyfox. How you doing?
Again, I'm literally thinking this is therapy for us now, or you.
It really is for me. It is. Yeah. I'll catch everybody up on the salt in a second here. So, Sly, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Doing good. Been losing my life to Stories 2, but great.
That's a good thing to lose your life to. I haven't gotten around to yet. I really want to, though. I've watched a few people play through, and it's definitely my kind of game. Makes me want to go back and play Stories 1. I don't know if you've played Stories 1 at all.
I haven't played Stories 1. It's not necessary.
I mean, that's like, regardless of necessary. I just kind of want to go back and play it. It's another game to play, till November.
Oh, God.
All right. Well, before we get started, of course, thank you to our sponsors, SteelSeries. Of course, like I said, until our shows are guaranteed more regular, we stop doing giveaways for those. So, all the same, they have a discount code. You can save money on that, and they still sponsor the show and the channel overall. And, of course, our sponsors over on Patreon who support us, they don't have to. There's no locked content, nothing exclusive over there. They just decide they want to. And if they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. That's fine. But thank you to them and to our patrons of darkness, Khuja, Janova, and Kurenai Oni. Got above and beyond over there, despite everything. So thank you to them, and thank you to everyone over on Patreon. Now, with that, I'm so happy to be here right now, Sly. Off topic. I mean, right from the get-go.
Yeah.
Because and here's the thing. You're unsalting me, so I can potentially bring an idea to you that is full of salt. Because we have not done a deep dungeon show in a long time.
You want me to do deep dungeon solo runs, don't you?
I'm not saying you have to do those, but if we were to do a show, it might be not a bad idea to brush up on that. I don't tell you what to do ever, Sly. I only feed you suggestions.
You better be glad I have a ton of alcohol.
Sly, I wish I had as much as you did. Because I've been at that grindstone for like a week and a half, and man, the words that come out of my mouth on the higher floors. I might be from Jersey, but even they'd be like, wow, that's vulgar.
Mm-hmm.
I'm so upset. Yeah, it's like farming for a Rathlos ruby and it doesn't drop in 50 kills. That's where I'm at mentally.
Not the same thing.
You're right. This is definitely worse.
You do extremes up to 99. That's not the same thing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Still, I'm upset. Yeah, fine until the amount of kills that would equal it. Just raise the amount. So yeah, we got some time before November. Maybe we do a discussion about Palace in Heaven and maybe what they could do in Endwalker. That could be a little different.
No. We have time until October.
No, we have time until November.
No. I have time until October.
What comes out in October?
You don't know.
Oh, okay, SMT5. Like this...
No, that's November.
Oh, fuck, you're doomed.
Super Robot Wars 30.
Oh yeah, people have been posting that in my gaming miscellaneous. Yeah, all the Robot Wars stuff. Mm-hmm.
I mean, this week has kind of turned out really good for me because of the whole Persona 25th anniversary, Super Robot Wars 30 coming to the West, and then we got another trailer for SMT5 yesterday. Yesterday in English. It came out the day before in Japanese.
Yeah.
But yeah. October to November is not good for me. I will have no life.
Well, I guarantee you there'll have to be a show at some point leading up to the expansion.
Yeah. Of course, of course.
So get your solos ready now, so you don't have to do the show then.
Right.
All right, that's fine. So that's worth considering doing a future show, and obviously we would probably want to bring on Angelus and some other and a person or two else from that community. So just want to throw that idea out there at the start so people can hold us like, because if we say it at the end, everyone's going to be like, no one's going to pay, no one's watching by then, so it's fine.
Right.
If they were, then they know half the things we say, and they don't, so it's fine. Fortunately, for now, we do have something to talk about.
We have plenty of things to talk about.
We sure do. And they omitted, we omitted this from last week's show. Obviously, we had Talion. We kind of had low expectations for the 14-hour broadcast. And we ended up getting some interesting details, not even just about 14, oddly enough. I'd argue those aren't even the most important details that we saw. I don't know if anyone else would agree with me there, but 16 is... We'll get to that in a little bit. Oh, man.
Yoko Taro.
The one time I've liked what he's done.
Right.
He actually had a great interview. I'll talk about that a little bit later, but his interview is one of the best dev interviews we've had in quite some time. So they did a 14-hour broadcast. They've been delaying this for ages because of everything going on in the world. And finally, they got around to doing it. It starts with an introduction for an hour. I didn't even tune into that. I decided to go live basically on the 30-minute break because I've seen these people a million times, and that generally doesn't get translated, so I don't get to enjoy it nearly as much for the introductions. But right after that, they went into the live letter. And Sly, we said it when in the show with Frosty. We didn't expect much. We expected they'd go live, they'd recap the things we already knew, and they did that for the most part. And then they'd do an interview with Okataro, and then maybe announce a few like dates for like Make It Rain or whatever. And we were kind of on point, but they shocked us with a very out of schedule release of the Endwalker benchmark trailer and the benchmark itself.
Yeah, I'll agree. That kind of tripped me up too. Like seeing it so soon.
Sly, if I'm not mistaken, the benchmark for Shadowbringers, I think the benchmarks in general are usually a few weeks before like Media Tour timing or like around Media Tour timing.
But we did get dates for Media Tour timing in this live letter.
True. We just like, I would have expected this to be around then, but it wasn't. It was around now.
Now.
And in fact, it's already there. And I went nuts because we are at the point where anything and everything that happens, no matter how small, no matter how large, is a horse worth jumping on. Saddle up and let's go, because excitement is through the roof whenever we get to see things like this.
Yep.
What was your reaction? Because I was just like, oh, it's a new trailer for like launch trailer or something. I don't know. It's probably, I thought there's whatever. Then all of a sudden I was like, wait, this is the fucking benchmark already?
My literal word was, well, damn, or words were, well, damn. Okay. All right. All right.
This was a damn good benchmark, too. Something they definitely did more with this benchmark trailer that they showed at the beginning. It was far less... How do I put it? So normally the benchmarks feel like they represent... They don't really represent gameplay any more or less. They're always very liberal with things that they showed. This was far more cinematic of a benchmark trailer. Like, they made use of, like, key characters in the MSQ and, like, put them in scenes that probably don't exist in the full game.
Yeah, we know what benchmarks are. They're pretty much stressed to see, can you run this game? So they threw a lot in there that, may or may not be relevant to the story at all. We've done benchmarks before so many times. But yeah, it's always interesting to kind of speculate about the things we see. Like, I remember the Stormblood one where we saw, what was it? It was at the end.
Oh, Susanoo, Yojimbo, and Daigoro.
Right. And we everyone and their mom knows that's not happening in game. We're not getting. I mean, unless it was like an ultimate, which that would be kind of an interesting.
That's
ultimate.
not an ultimate. Doesn't make any sense. But yeah, I understand what you're saying.
I mean, yeah. Like,
Jimbo's just like, why am I here? For the revelry. It's like, excuse me, I'm trying to get paid. I'm not here for revelry. Can I get some money?
Right. So yeah, you see things like that. So yeah, it's just a bunch of things mishmashed together just to make shit look interesting and make your computer explode.
For me, though, it felt like they understood that a lot of new players have no idea what the point of a benchmark trailer is. So they're just expecting... A lot of people are going to see benchmark trailer, and like the benchmark part they're going to just kind of wonder about until afterwards. They're going to sit down and watch it first. So it felt like they made it more cinematic for like the average viewer, as opposed to just making it kind of what we expect, where they go to location, there's a bunch of people, there's a bunch of fighting. They did that, but they tried to give it that extra little like that feeling of like, oh my god, I'm even more excited than I normally would be after watching one of these. And that's, for me, that's no more evident than some of the enemies and characters that we actually see. I mean, honestly, even just Alphino trying to write stuff down from a book in Sharlayan, it's just like, it's that little extra that they did that was like, I like this. This makes me feel good. It was just like, how to put your own father to sleep permanently.
And our mount scenes obligatory now in benchmarks?
Oh yeah,
too?
they have to
we
be.
Yeah, we get one every benchmark, like where we're just flying or just, going across the plains or something. And
this one, however, has a special visitor alongside of us, which is actually not... So in Heavensward, we had Bismarck flying alongside of us. This time we have Ritra, who flies alongside of us, and then it's like, okay, you're at the tower. I'll see you later. He's just like, nope, that's it. I'm turning around. I don't want to be... I don't want anything to do with that. Oh, man. Yeah. But it starts with them out in like a Garlean snowfield. And again, we shouldn't really dig into these too in-depth, but I couldn't help but notice that while we're fighting off these Terminus beasts, we're actually on the same side as a bunch of Garleans, which I'd assume...
You sure are.
Yeah, which is honestly a reasonable thing given what we already know about the story. We haven't done spoiler cast for 0.55 yet, but luckily in 0.5 part 1, we do know largely about, how the towers affect people. And so... the final scene, obviously, in 0.5 ends with, for Garlemald, and it's the Alamegan guy. And so, it kind of makes sense that those who aren't conscripted, ones who didn't return when it was demanded by Nerva, would probably not be cool with what was going on and might actually fight alongside of us.
Yeah. I mean, it's safe to say we're going to get a lot of Garlean defectors.
Yeah.
Probably in the beginning of in Walker. We'll probably see a lot.
I'd assume, honestly, Thavnair is a great place to make contact with that. That's like the ideal place in terms of trade routes and everything. Similar to Kugane, where they kind of deal with everyone as a neutral state.
So do we see Thavnair as our... I wouldn't call Kugane like a secondary hub, even though it kind of felt like that in Stormblood?
Yeah, I'd say Kugane. Yeah, no, Kugane was like our Crystarium, and then Crystarium. So like it's the main hub, but it's not the end game place to hang out.
Well, the difference is there's no housing in the Crystarium. There's housing in Kugane.
Well, yeah, I guess, but that's I'm not judging the nearby house. Listen, if we have to start talking about housing, it's gonna get real bad. So.
Yeah.
So no, but I mean, just lore-wise, we know that Kugane is kind of like a neutral state. There's no fighting. It's entirely free of politics, in terms of clashes and whatnot. And Thavnair is largely the same. They even obviously deal with Mericidia to the south. So it seems like if we were to meet a bunch of defectors of Popularis or anyone that isn't still part, it hasn't been taken over or anything, per Nerva's command, that's where we would probably be exposed to them. Although I think we'll have to deal with Sharlayan before it gets that. I don't know. I'm wondering what the order of events. I think we're going to Thavnair first because it's the hub. Like we normally go to like Kugane at 71, Crystarium right at Yeah, I'm sorry, Kurenai at 61, Crystarium right at 70. So I feel like Charlian won't be till like upper 60s or like mid to upper 60s before we go there.
But didn't they say Charlian is our Crystarium, so to speak?
Oh, I think you're right, actually. Yeah, and the kids still do it opposite. Yeah, actually, you're right. I got it backwards. You're right.
Yeah.
So yeah, maybe Charlian early, and then Radzahan. Then that flows better. I think going to Radzahan and then going to Garlemald, and then going to the moon. I don't know how we get to these locations in so few quests. I really don't.
Right.
So I mean, there's 30% more, but even still, it's like, that's a lot of moving around we're gonna have to do. All right. I'm excited. So we have that. It shows us a few other scenes. We see Charlian. We see a bunch of people. We see what looks to be a crystalline mean equivalent, a crafting or gatherer hub inside of Charlian. I think that's to be expected. I expected that to continue going into Endwalker. Crystalline mean was pretty well received, even though it's kind of short-lived.
Yeah, I mean, it gets the job done. It levels your crafters really, really quick,
and it's more story quests.
Yeah.
So that was pretty. Like I said, that was really well received at the start of Shadowbringers. Didn't really receive any updates, but that's fine. It doesn't really need to. It'll serve its purpose, like you just said. We do also see some more fighting inside Garlemald, and this is where they do the classic benchmark. We'll show you one new thing. I will hold you over. We'll show you one new thing for every job. And I'm not gonna lie, the abilities they chose to show feel to me representative of how early this is relative to the media tour. Like we don't normally see, because you can pretty much pin almost every role into what type of ability we kind of saw.
Yeah.
So all the healers used a single target shield, all 4 of them. Some variation of it. We see they're all new. They're all new animations. Like Benison was like watery and stuff. The Sage Shield is just like a glass case of emotion. You like that? You like that?
Yes.
Why do you like that?
Yeah, I was a fan of that one.
You're a fan?
I don't know. Like, I don't know. It feels
anime.
Futury. Yeah. Anime.
Feels
futury
anime. Yeah.
Feels futury anime.
You could see like a Gundam putting a shield up like that. Gives you those robot vibes. Those anime robot vibes.
It actually felt more Eva than anything.
Yeah.
It didn't feel Gundam. It felt more Eva. Yeah.
Good feel though. Good feel at the end of the day.
Yeah.
All right. For Scholar, we saw. I don't even know what that was, but it wasn't a traditional Adlo, so it might be like an evolution of Adlo that they finally get. And then for Astro, they gave him a shield, probably opposition or some evolution of opposition. The DPS was probably the weirdest one we saw. It was like, for a lot of jobs, it looked like AoE versions of skills they already have.
Yeah.
Like, except for you. You didn't get that. You actually got something completely different. Dragoon got something completely different.
You're talking about the Estinian scene?
No. I'll talk about it later. No, because Dragoon showed a new skill, too. They showed what looked to be a follow-up to Raiden Thrust. It was a modified True Thrust.
Yeah, you're right.
So it's probably a follow-up to Raiden Thrust, if I had to guess. Yeah, I know. It could also just be higher level True Thrust. Who knows? But it looked like updated True Thrust for Dragoon. It's one of the more unique skills we saw. Summoner being one of the other unique skills we saw. And our first peek at what everyone is trying to figure out with Summoner. They had a gap closer. An explosive, fiery gap closer. It looked like it consumed Ifrit, but it's hard to tell. It might have just been behind the thing's leg, because it cuts to the very next scene and Ifrit is there. So I don't know if that's just inconsistency in the shooting, or if it only looks like Ifrit disappeared for a brief second.
I think it's just benchmark bullshit.
Probably. No, I know that skill exists though. That skill is not a fake skill. That's a real thing that they currently have planned for them.
Right.
And I don't know how to feel about that. I mean, Summoner was the only one without a movement skill before. Red Mage had a gap closer and a backflip. Black Mage could teleport to the ley lines or 2 party. Just to give Summoner their one movement skill, it would just be a gap closer. I don't really know how to feel about that, but that's something. That's the biggest talk. Once again, Summoner's like the talk of the town. Non-stop for the past several months. This didn't raise or lower my optimism at all. I was just like, that is just what it is.
Yeah. It'll get leveled.
Yeah.
By proxy.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
By proxy.
I'll learn. You're going to learn today. Not today. You're going to learn in November. Or December. I don't know when I'll get a level. But then for like a lot of other skills, let me see. Warrior, Monk, and Samurai at the very least were like AoE skills, AoE versions of Upheaval, Shoha, and Tornado Kick. I don't know if those are new skills or just updated old skills that now they're AoE.
I wouldn't think in terms of like graphical updates to current skills. So I think it had to be different. Like it had to be like new skills.
Yeah, I think that it's just a matter of, are they like, is now Upheaval is now this, like when you get to a high enough level, or is it a separate button? That's the only thing I really don't know. Because I think it's a good idea to give Warrior, for example, an AoE spender that isn't just their usual spender, because they don't have any OGCD AoE spenders. They always have to Upheaval single target. And not to mention, it just looks badass. They just turn into monks. They just berserk this shit. Just literally the axe goes away and he just starts punching. It's like, wait, I'm monk. It's like, you use your foot, I use fist. It's fine. Yours is a kick, mine's a punch. But then like Shoha is like an AoE meditate spender. That makes sense in theory. Monk, Tornado Kick. I mean, sure, why not? We have Elixir Field technically, but sure, why not? AoE one, cool. But it's like, it felt like those are just like, we really don't want to show you anything else. I think we can get away with showing you that this is happening.
Yeah.
So,
which is weird. Which is kind of weird for them to do. So, like, I wouldn't say so far out from Media Tour. And getting all our getting the skills trailer.
Yeah, in September.
But it still feels a little weird that you would kind of show a few things this early.
I think this is the easiest thing for them to get away with showing without, because these things could change in development, and it really wouldn't change much about how we perceive the benchmark. But like, if they were to show us, let's say for example, when they go and they hover over to Summoner. Like, let's say instead of showing us a dash. Actually, let me use a job that had a less distinct difference. Let's say Monk, instead of AoE Tornado Kick, let's say that it showed them, like, dashing, like triangle dashing around enemies and, like, hitting them a bunch. Like, just like, you know, like a run and punch kind of thing. Like, that would have to become something substantial in a lot of people's minds about, like, how the job works. Is that just an OGCD? Is that, like, a replacement for an existing skill? There's things they can show us that if they change them later, we're going to notice more. If they change an AoE Tornado, this is to say they decide they don't want to do AoE Tornado Kick in a few months when we get job action trailer and stuff, whatever, they don't have to. It's reasonable they can get away with that. So it seems like they just played the safe card. Single target heals for a lot of healers. They showed us an updated TBN and like a paladin equivalent of TBN. They showed us an AoE upheaval. Gunbreaker looked like it had an evolved version of Burst Strike in some way. A lot of evolved versions of abilities we already have instead of new abilities, which is, I think, what people are really looking for.
I don't know if I agree with evolved. Like when you say evolved, like do you mean something
that goes away when you get to a high enough level and is replaced with something else? So like Machinist, all of their Machinist, all of their base 3 combo gets replaced with heated versions of them, or Berserk becomes in a release on Warrior. And then Steel Cyclone becomes, Decimate. You know, like all of those. Rage of Halone becomes Royal Authority. They just go away. They're just gone. They just trade up to a new skill. Oh, the easiest one is like White Mage. Stone 1, Stone 2, 3, 4, Glare, all those. Yeah. It seems like they just played the safe card, just showed us those for the most part. Things like that.
I wouldn't call that safe, though. I mean, I still think it's too early. My opinion.
Yeah. What else do we see? Also Machinist got a shotgun. But that looked like it just replaces one of their current conal AoEs.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's 99% of what they showed us was that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's going to be a really popular thing from this expansion onward anyway, is evolving skills into new skills, because they've shown they can make that a substantial means of updating skills. Machinist, when you go from Hotshot to Air Anchor, it is like you're playing the exact same job. You're not even pressing buttons in a different order. And it feels like something is just unlocked inside of you that you cannot explain. And it is incredibly satisfying. So we're going to see a lot more of this. And now I'm pretty confident you're going to get a full thrust in the next expansion. An updated full thrust. You're going to get Raiden thrust, truer thrust, and fullest thrust. You're muted.
I see something more along the lines of, a Raiden thrust, like where it's something beneficial, but you have to like not fuck up. Or, not fuck up.
I think you have to qualify for the Raiden thrust, probably to get to the true thrust. I don't think they'll add a positional to Raiden thrust to make you qualify for the true thrust. That would start to get nutty if you had to then do another positional for Raiden thrust to then get it to be truer thrust.
I mean, it's just doing positionals, but.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing, because they said they really want everyone to feel like they have skills that are like my ultimate skill that feels amazing. And that doesn't mean it has to be a brand new skill. Updating an old skill can feel amazing if they do it right. And they've shown already they can do that. So they need to, there's certain jobs, Bart, that really could use that more than other things. It also helps conserve bar space, but without, there's a lot of positives to it. And I think we're going to see more. I think we're going to see even more than we already see in the trailer.
So to me, I'm not really that hype about like seeing these skills, is because once we get the trailer, the skills trailer, like I want to see the level 90 skills. I want to see the like the good shit, like the really cinematic, has weight to it type shit. That's
we're doing a live show for that, right? Like we're gonna live react to that. Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Damn right.
Yep.
Okay. Good. Although, that's fine.
Mm-hmm. No. Use your words.
I was gonna say, because I was thinking to Larry's video, I was like, wait, Larry's came from the media tour. Might have to record said reaction beforehand, depending on how they decide. We still have no idea how they're going to decide to do this. All they've said is it's definitely remote, and they touch upon that in this. They confirmed the media tour in this live letter will be entirely remote. Sly feeling very proud of himself because he's been saying it would be remote the whole time.
Oh, gee, Rick, I wonder who said that. Yeah.
Why is it gotta be Rick and Morty? That didn't even sound like Morty.
Oh, jeez.
Stop it right now. I need you to take it down a notch there, pal. Yeah, they did confirm that, so maybe it won't be entirely the way we expected to go for a live show.
I agree with you. I don't think we, the people who, I guess, get access to the media tours, I don't think we'll get access to like you said, like a private, I was thinking like a private server to try all this shit out and see what's what. No, I think it'll probably be more in, video form. And I can accept that.
We'll see, because I know other companies that have been trying to do like remote recording sessions with broadcasters. Yeah, that's probably the face that they're all making because it's a pain in the dick.
Good fucking luck.
And it's a pain in the ass, but I mean, it essentially the way most companies would do it would be to connect via a secure line. They can detect every single thing you're doing. They know exactly what you're doing. Any screenshot. There's no question if you were to leak something, for example, that it was you who did it.
They would know.
Yeah. So
yeah,
we'll
see. I worry about that kind of stuff because I've seen it happen before in terms of something remote. Yeah. So
I mean, we've seen it happen when we go. Where there's like some dude who works at like a GameStop who's like, fuck it, I don't have a career in this shit anyway. And then he just posts shit to 4chan. And like half of it is like real shit and the other half isn't. And then we have to sit there and people are just asking us shit like, hey, did you see that? And I'm like, hello? I'm not going to be talking about anything like that. Can you leave me alone?
Prime example for me would probably be Strikers.
Oh yeah, you fucking that couldn't have been fun.
I was in that call and then like an hour or 30 minutes later, I'm like, wait, I'm planning a video for this tomorrow. What the fuck? Oh fuck. Okay.
Some people, man. Some people.
Yep.
It's why it's one thing with us being individuals with shit like this in the games. This is a topic for a whole other show. When a company sends some like rando to like do stuff and they just don't care and they're just like, whatever, I don't care. They're not gonna, what are they gonna block GameStop or IGN or whatever? And then they're just like, I don't care. I'm just some fucking rando here, and they just don't care. But then like when it's down to individuals, it's like they're like they have to be uber responsible about it. So it's a bit more, we're the way of the future. Sorry,
we'll
IGN, move over.
Yeah, like I said, we'll see how it goes.
We'll see.
Hopefully good.
Yeah. But those, I mean, still seeing all the skills, seeing anything new, and especially the Reaper LB3. I'm like, Xeno, come on now. Mine will be way cooler. I don't even think that's the whole animation. I think that the Ghosty is going to be...
I think that's individual to Xeno himself. That's not us. I think we get something.
He said to pay special attention to it. I feel like it's probably... Because they usually show us an LB3 in a benchmark. They do. Right. Every single benchmark has an LB3. We had Dragoon in Heaven's Ward 1. We had... I mean, I think it's always the main thing. It was Samurai. It was Dragoon. It was... yeah. Because that was also... You got to remember, that was when Dragoon got not Monk's LB3 in Heaven's Ward. It was actually new to them, because all the melees had the Monk LB3 in a Realm. I forgot about that. All the melees had the Monk LB3. Yeah, Shadowbringers. Oh yeah, Shadowbringer had Dancer instead of Dark Knight. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then we definitely had Samurai for Stormlight. So yeah, this is almost certainly the Reaper LB3, but I don't think that's the whole animation. I'm willing to bet the Ghosty Void Boy has something.
The animation was locked. It felt like you remember when you held the sword for Susano?
Yeah.
It kind of felt like that. It looked like exactly like that. So yeah, I can agree. It's not the whole animation because it was held for like seconds while the paladin was holding it up.
Yeah.
So that's why I say it may not be specific. We may get a different aesthetic, a different look for it that might not be as edgy.
I mean, go full edge, and that's fine. I look at that job. That's gonna be even edgier when we get it at the final bit.
I mean, but this is Xenos we're talking about. Like, Xenos is...
He's pretty edgy.
Yeah.
He's pretty edgy, that guy. I'm not gonna lie.
He could cut himself with his own edge.
He cut his own neck open.
Yeah.
Quite literally. The other thing other than Xenos is Omega Bot 2.0.
The fuck was that?
She did tell us to do Omega before. she did quite... Ishikawa did say, yeah, make sure you do Omega before you play Endwalker. It's probably a good thing. So, yeah. I'm wondering... I'm assuming they just tried to remake Omega, and that's not Alpha. I don't think they found Alpha and OMG Bot and went, aha.
You got to remember something. Like I don't think a lot of people saw this. I still have this pick to this day. When we first got the towers, outside of the lots, if you go to the tower, like far out east, Alpha and OMG are staring out at the tower from a cliff, from a random cliff.
But apparently, they were already able to be there before the towers were there. That's just a spot. That's just a spot they've always had. Just interesting that it happens to be there still. That being said, we know Omega's not mandatory, so that's a question mark. Because it's not like with the twinning where it was, oh, we encountered Omega in an alternate, like, even if we haven't done it in our game currently, in that future we had indeed, you know, fought Omega and learned about Omega. They can't really do that here. So this, I think, is literally just they tried to remake Omega with any Allagan information that they had. So I don't think there's a chance there's any correlation between Alpha and Omega Bot. But it's still a new Omega that shows up. And he's got the little lasers, and I know that those are not unusual for him, but I'm still like, he's a sage. He's got all the little nodes. He's a sage. All Magitech and Allagan stuff are sages. They all have those little bits.
Everybody has bits. Yep. They have funnels.
Yeah. The other thing with the benchmark is Male Vieira, character creator, the finished one apparently. Which another thing
did you play with it?
Yeah. I went through every option.
I mean, I saw them play with the options. I'm like, I'm not making a Male Vieira, so I'm not going to really play with it that much. But I'm happy for y'all. This benchmark it makes me wonder. I wonder if we can get Yoshi P to talk about what precisely are the things that need the most fine tuning into November. Because getting the benchmark early, having the Male Vieira character creator done, seeing a lot of these, it feels like I almost get the impression more is done than I think is done. There's not as much work, which, to be fair, with only 4 months to go, kind of has to be the case. You know, because a lot of it's going to be QA checking and balancing and stuff, and that takes up a lot of time. So it just feels fuller, which then makes me impatient. I'm just like, I just want to play it. Didn't they say Yoshi P has like 100 or 200 and something hours of like checks he has to do?
Yeah, in like the next 10 days or something.
Yeah.
No. Just on his schedule, it says like 190 hours or something. Yeah. If checks he has to do. Listen. All I'm saying is I want it. I ain't saying anything else, but I want it. That's it. I'm also not going to play Male Vieira, but the character creation options were pretty good. All the voices were good. I didn't dislike any of the voices, which was strange. There's even like a very Prompto sounding one. I don't know how else to it literally sounds like they got the guy who voices JP Prompto to like do a voice. I can't think of it. Especially because I played Defu, and it's only Japanese Prompto I hear there because they have no English voice acting. So I felt that a lot. That's voice 2, I believe. So it's even a top quality voice. For the benchmark, they also changed what the scoring means. You used to only have to score over 7,000 to qualify for extremely high. Now you need to score over 15,000. How'd you do?
17.
Nice. That is extremely high.
I'm running, it's extremely high. I'm running 2080 Super, so 17. Yeah.
I got like 24.
While
I was live streaming. Oh, did you test yours while you were live streaming or not? I tested mine while I was live streaming because that's okay.
Off.
I tested it while I was live streaming because that mattered more to me. Like, that's when I'll be playing it the majority of the time. I actually haven't tested it off stream yet. I've heard some people say they test it on and off, and it actually isn't that different. So maybe it won't be, but I'm ready to go. New PC, ready to go.
Yeah.
Proud of you.
You're good.
Proud of you, new PC. Yeah. All right. So then after the benchmark, it kind of fell into being what we expected. We did get like tiny little snippets of information here or there. You know, just a reminder, there's more cutscenes, there's more story, there's 30% more of all that stuff. This is where they say Charlene is Crystarium and Radz-at-Hand is the Yulmore equivalent. They show off some new areas. Comment again, are we going to be restoring Garlemald? Everyone keeps asking me. Moving on. Second time he's brought up Garlemald restoration as a thing. And then here's what he says. He has this crazy looking ability at the end of the benchmark. Take a closer look. I mean, that's really the comment that made me say that about that in the first place. So, they said there's new dungeons. There'll be an explorer mode. Pandemonium's the new raid. Did confirm that there will be a ho for Savage release. And that it will be what looks to be, I think, December 20th or 21st for the Savage release. So hopefully your family doesn't mind that you're playing video games under the tree, because you are not going to get to see them unless you beat it in the first. I like the people who are like, it's okay, I beat it in one day anyway. I'll have plenty of time for Christmas. I won't probably beat it in a day. Yeah, I'll probably beat it in like 3 or 4 days, but still.
3 days. You'll be right. You'll be right before Christmas Eve.
Friday, Saturday. Yeah, it'll be like Friday, Saturday. Something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of people aren't happy about that. I do wonder if for 0.2 and 0.4, if we'll see a 2-week delay. They've been talking about it, this expansion, about doing a 2-week delay for the other Savage tiers.
Why after the fact, though? I don't like.
Well, it doesn't matter. But for later, it's because everyone who does Savage, like anyone who's doing it super seriously, we have to skip everything. Essentially, the patch doesn't exist to us until Savage is done. And we don't want that to be the case. You know, it'd be nice to be able to take some time, maybe farm primal weapons before it comes out. You know, get that little bit of an edge. And honestly, they most of the time, they probably wouldn't even release the crafted stuff before then. They'd probably wait the 2 weeks to release the new crafted stuff.
On the day of.
Yeah. So that's really the biggest concern people have is like, then do they delay weekly capped tomestones? Do they delay? Because those are all things that they generally tie to progression. And like they're introduced for the sake of progression. When you give people 2 weeks, kind of undermines the Savage when it actually comes out. Gives people 2 weeks to really analyze the normal modes, which then speeds up progress. I don't think anything's necessarily wrong about any of that. I don't think it just needs to be a longer experience because normal. It's like, for me, that's not a downside. Especially in the case of, let's say it lands 5 days before Christmas. It's going to be a blessing.
Or a curse.
Or a curse. And honestly, if you're not doing the hardcore prog, that doesn't matter anyway. You'll do it after Christmas is over. Who cares?
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I think the 2 week delay is a good thing, but I want to see it in 0.2 and 0.4. I'm always going to be an advocate for that. 24 mans, and that won't tell us anything. They're just like, nope, Myths of the Realm. That's it. They reconfirmed something that I really didn't think needed reconfirming. I thought it was perfectly clear in the previous live letters, but I guess not. The Magus Sisters are one of the trials. A lot of people were like, no, they're not. They're not one of the trials. And I'm like, it's the same every time. They always show us like Beast Tribe and then a trial, Beast Tribe and then a trial. They always do it, and then we know we get 2 trials. So that's it. Last time they showed us the Arksha, I'm gonna have to get used to saying this fucking name. Arcasudaras, and then they showed us Anima a couple slides later. And it's like, okay, he's gonna be a boss. And Magus Sisters gonna be a boss. And these are the Final Fantasy. It's funny how it says they're in Final Fantasy IV, but these are different when it's quite literally Amano's artwork from Final. It's not even their like in-game appearance practically. It's like literally the Amano artwork lifted into 3D. Yep. And it looks fantastic. New gear and crafting recipes. Oh, here it is. 253 hours reserved for his upcoming schedule. There you go. That's not that bad. Come on. It doesn't say it's all.
It worth a poor minute. It's not that bad.
It doesn't say all at once. It's not like he has to do it in a row.
I mean, I know not all at once, but that's a lot of checks. That's a lot.
That's like saying, you know, in the next month I have 211 hours to stream. It's like, it sounds bad, but you know, it's just, you got to spread it out. For all we know, that could be all of the time until November. It's just his upcoming, and all of until November is like, yeah, it's not that bad. It'll be fine. It was looking good here. It was looking good. You know, he doesn't look like he's tired right now, so he's fine. I like that he says he's gonna post screenshots on the forums of him like doing late night checks and just he's like, I'm gonna just show people how dead I am.
It's just gonna be one screenshot of him sleeping on a couch or something.
He's like taking a nap between checks. I've got 5 minutes. Let me take a picture and post it on the forums. You know, I have 5 minutes. Then we got to see all the artifact sets, every single one.
Okay. After seeing these, do you get this? After seeing some of these, do you get the feeling that some of these are a bit samey from AF gear we've seen?
Yeah, I mean, I feel that way every expansion because they're all tied to the same. They're all had like a paladin's a holy crusader, and a warrior is a berserker, and a dark knight is an edgelord, and a gunbreaker is fancy. They had a fancy coat before. They got a fancy coat again. It's like a Commodore coat.
Yeah. Only a few jobs looked different, but
Warriors. That fucking axe. That is better than all of our current resistance weapon axes.
Yeah. Like the weapons look amazing. The weapons look good. But the actual gear we wear looks pretty samey from what we had before.
Yeah. I don't know. I was a fan of most of them. Some of them a little too like Dragoon is a little more Kane-y in terms of its appearance. The spear is also, again, one of the best looking spears I've seen in the game.
Yes. Hands down.
Hands down.
It looks like an upgraded Heaven's Ward AF.
It wasn't Heaven's Ward's AF. I should mean Heaven's Ward. Wasn't Heaven's Ward's AF like? Oh no, we had two different sets of AF there because we had the like primal AFs in like 0.2 or something and 3.2 or something.
Yeah.
The only one I really feel that way about is Samurai. It's like the only one I really feel like is over samey, but they're always same-ish. Luckily, Bard, I mean, Machinist looks the Dancer one I think looks hideous. The weapons are cool, but the AF just looks hideous today. I don't like it at all.
I actually like the Dancer one.
I don't like it at all. It's going to be real popular. I don't like it. I prefer the current one. Like, by far. The fact that they have... So, I want to call these Twashtars. They're not, because Twashtars we already have in-game. But in Final Fantasy XI, those are Twashtars, which is a Dancer weapon. So, it's not only a Dancer weapon. They're daggers that Dancer can use. But they look exactly like that. Throwing knives, though, which is interesting, because those are certainly not boomerangs. Those don't come back when you throw them normally.
Oh, no.
You gotta go and pull them out if you really want to. So maybe we'll finally start seeing FS get his boomerangs finally. He's been waiting on those boomerangs for years. He literally said he's upset that there's no boomerangs.
Well, he gets his oceanic server and his boomerangs.
Exactly. It makes sense, dude. That's to celebrate. Is that what we're gonna get? We're gonna get boomerangs.
Yeah. That's the headcanon.
Oh man. Black Mage looks like Black Mage. We already knew what Black Mage 1 was going to look like. They showed us like months ago.
Yeah.
But it's more underwhelming now. Especially because we've seen it alongside everything else. Phoenix looks cool. It's got butt wings. Red Mage looks like Red Mage. White Mage, I love.
White Mage looks like a shrine maiden.
Damn right.
I actually love this look.
That's one of the best White Mage. See, people always complain, oh, another robe, but I'm like, listen, if the robe looks like this, it's dope, all right?
Yeah.
White Mage is a good looking one. And fucking Astro trying to be like Urian J, going full JoJo mode. Scholar looking like a scholar. I mean, that's ultimately they all just look like. I like if you put these all beside each other, I could tell you every single one, even if they took the weapons away.
Again, samey.
Yeah, but again, they're always kind of samey. It's just a matter of how cool they look while still being samey.
Right.
But that warrior axe is on a whole nother level. I literally can't understand how good it is. The next thing we got here was more talk about housing. It's always a great topic. Always a fantastic topic. So, there's going to be a lottery system for some wards for housing.
Mm-hmm.
There are first come, first serve wards that are still going to be out. But there will also be wards that are entirely lotteried away to anyone who applies. You put the money down, and then when the drawing time comes, they draw the names, and if your name is picked, you can buy you get the house.
Did they say if you don't get it, you get refunded? I would imagine that would be the case.
They're right also, by the way. My chat's right about the Final Fantasy XI thing. They're terps, not twash. The daggers. They're correct. Sorry. Had to fix that. What was that?
I would imagine, like, if you don't win,
you get the money back.
You don't win the... Okay, yeah, I would imagine.
No, it'd be fucking hilarious if they're just like, no, we're going to keep this. They're like, but
yeah,
I didn't get it. And they're like, yeah, I know. Mm-hmm. That's you've accurately described what's happened. Yeah.
And then to go beyond that, they said, solo wards and FC wards, which we've been kind of talking about that for a while, like putting, FC, just having FC only wards separate from, the personal housing.
Yeah, for purchasing sake, it's good to not have to fight against both. I'm trying to remember the updates they made to housing a while back, because they made updates where it was harder to have multiple houses. So I'm wondering, realistically, I think about this with that more than anything else. So I'd imagine the individual wards are probably easier, because I think I don't remember how they do it for housing, but still. Yeah, I mean, I guess all of this is fine. Like, they're describing all these things, lottery, first come, first serve, individual, but there still needs to be enough. It's always the problem. There always needs to be enough, and they're always playing catch-up. And especially with the way things have been the last week, there is no chance this is going to be even worse of a shit show than it ever has been, despite all of the things they're putting into it.
Do you think they will add additional plots?
I mean, they're going to keep trying. They're always trying to add more plots, but there's no way. They can't. Right now, with the game's trajectory, they can't. There's no way to add enough. Like, this is the ultimate failing of the housing system. If the game gets popular enough, here's the thing. It was popular enough to be a problem before. That problem is going to skyrocket.
Okay, put it like this then. While this is on paper, I think impossible, how often would new wards and new plots need to be added to kind of keep up?
Bro, they just need to just get rid of wards, man. Just fucking make it an instanced area. Just make everyone you walk into the house.
You are talking about server bullshit.
Here's what I'm talking about. All right, let me hit you with it. All right.
Okay.
Currently, housing wards and all the houses in them need to be operational 24/7, regardless of if anyone is in the area. Which means the server space is always being consumed. If anyone's in their house, that's another instance. If anyone's in their room, it's another instance. If you have them all individual, it's only using the space when people are in there. That's how you generally do it. Now, the problem is their servers are probably so fucked it's not possible for them to do that. But that's how you would normally do it. You only load it when someone's actually in it. And then when they go in their house, it can deload the outside instance so it's still only one instance that's being used up.
Okay. Perhaps you say this, but from even my perspective and venues perspectives, good luck doing that if you're running, I don't know, an event. Good luck.
That's why you open it up. It's still only one instance being used. You just are inviting a bunch of people to that instance.
Yeah, that's just too much server bullshit to deal with like one time.
It's not, though. The problem is, it's that much server bullshit because we already have what we have now. Then doing that on top of it. What I've suggested would need to replace what's there. Because otherwise the load is just too... Who knows? They said they're investing in like a multi-million-dollar infrastructure update and shit. Maybe that helps a lot.
You think I'd try to crash the wards on my birthday if they ever did that? Oh, boy.
Bro, I've played a million other games with housing. Having a fucking neighbor doesn't matter. Nobody gives a shit. Your neighbor doesn't like you. They don't mow their grass. You're not friends. Their dog shits on your lawn and they steal your newspaper.
what game has this type of housing? I might need to do this. Oh, God. Housing like real life bullshit? Yeah, like
no, every other game I play that's housing, they're all individual and nobody ever has any issues. But I live in an apartment complex and I'm afraid someone's dog's gonna shit on my lawn. It doesn't even make any sense. I'm just saying, there's a solution, they just might not be able to get to it. Because they're so deep in their current version of it. So they need to rip it out from underneath to do it.
And we've mentioned that before several times, and again, you're right, they're too deep.
Then make apartments better. Please, do something to make apartments better. Let us make them larger. Do something.
Larger, yes, but like apartments as a whole are fine. I don't see a bigger issue with apartments than I do with just general housing.
I'm really hoping Island Sanctuary just makes people not want houses anymore. Please, Island Sanctuary. I need to see more Island Sanctuary. I genuinely need to see more Island Sanctuary. Please. Because I don't even want a house. I just want the system to be better. That's it. That's all I want. I just want things to be better for people. And this is not going to help. The game is getting too popular for this to keep working. On the flip side, we did get confirmation of a restriction that we didn't expect because it wasn't originally planned.
Yeah.
World visits or data center visits will be region restricted at first. They will be lifting that, which is surprising because the game, so none of the data centers are connected. Like all the data centers in North America, they're not connected in a way that's any different than the way we connect to the other ones. The only differences are ping, which means I'm assuming they're having issues with the data not being lost when it has to go very far away. That's the only thing that makes sense to me, is they're having issues with data being lost when the data has to actually go a further distance, connect to a further away data center. Something's lost in the ping. I don't know. And if that happens in testing, you 100% can't go live with that. So they probably need to make sure it's perfectly fine now. Yeah, they definitely want to avoid data corruption.
You think they would be testing this mainly for Oceania too?
Well, yeah, they're gonna definitely need to do it as well. But it's not just. Yeah. But again, well, actually, yeah, because Oceania has a lot of communities on other data centers now. They're probably not all gonna move to Oceania. And even then, they'll still want to have the same ability to visit all the other existing data centers before they came out, because they've already made friends there and stuff like that. So this seems like they are making sure they're testing it internally, and they're not confident that it's going to be 100% smooth. So they're going to eliminate a factor, test it like that. Hopefully we get very little in the way of data corruption on data center travel. And then once they've done that, and they've done more testing on the back end, then we'll probably see the rest of the world open up. Smart move to make, and it's only temporary that we won't be able to visit outside of our region. But Sly, that still means you and I are good to visit each other.
Yeah.
What are we doing together? That face was interesting.
Heaven on high.
I was going to say it too. I was going to say, are we doing heaven on high?
Doing heaven on high.
As soon as I saw you smile, I was like, okay. I thought he was gonna say like you can just come to the foxhole like on your main instead of on your alt. I'm like, nope, he's gonna say heaven on high. I fucking knew it. It's like heaven on high or savage are the two things he's thinking right now.
Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. Sounds good. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah.
Yep. As soon as I'm done soloing it, smile. And this opens up. Anyway, so then they talked a little bit about the stat squish again, and this was literally, I was like, guys, I don't think they understand that it's just numbers going down. Should we say it again? Should we do like a little Q&A section? They still won't understand it afterwards? Not my problem at that point. Because that's all this is. It's literally just like, are we getting weaker? Oh, my God. I've gotten these exact questions in my Twitch chat, unironically. And so I see them and I'm like, yeah, 100%.
Imagine.
Yeah. They're 100% correct to do this Q&A exactly with the questions they use. It's like, no.
Hell, I see this even happening once Endwalker comes out. Like, people will, like, it's a visual thing. And we've been used to these numbers for such a long time. I wouldn't say a long time, but to see them getting reduced, like, even though you know this news, you've read this, you've seen this live letter, seen what they said. It's I think it's a shock, so to speak, just to see yourself getting quote unquote weaker. No, you're not. You're not getting weaker. It's just numbers. You're fine. You're still doing big dick damage. ACT's not gonna break on you.
Yeah, it's like people think they're just lowering our numbers and not lowering the rest of the numbers in the game.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, dude, how's that content even possible if all of our stats are going to be squished? And it's like, it's not just us. It's the whole fucking game. Every calculation, every enemy.
Back in my day, I could die for a fucking million.
I wish I didn't have to explain it to people so often. To just
don't.
But they ask, and I have to help them. They can't just think that our numbers go down and all the enemies stay exactly the same.
Okay.
I can't leave them to their devices, Sly. It's irresponsible.
What you do is when someone asks that question in your chat, you make a command that is an imgur of that exact slide, and they can read it, and anything beyond that is between them and
Sly,
Jesus.
You've asked people to do 3 things that don't happen. Read, click a link, and pay attention. You've hit the holy trinity of things that don't happen.
I don't know what to tell you.
Me neither.
I don't know what to tell you.
I've been wondering that for years. Oh man. And then they talk about, they say, oh, your numbers are going to get small. Oh, if your number was this before, it'll be that after. Strong attacks will still be strong, relatively speaking.
Wait. I want to see how this, give me a second.
What are you looking for?
Let me find a specific slide.
What slide I could help? Here's the thing. I'll at least admit they could get the number calculations wrong. And, they have to, adjust something when people ask me about that, I get that. Do you have any concerns that they'll do it correctly? Will they nail it? Okay, fine to be skeptical on that. But from just an essential how does it function point is where I see most of the questions.
All right. So what's going to happen is someone's going to ask the question, and then you do this, have a command that does this, and then they can look at the slide, and then, again, they have to read.
Yeah, how's that last part you mentioned? What about that? That reading part. Yeah, somebody brought this up. It's like every patch notes, there's PvP changes, and people go, holy shit, did you see those monk changes? It does 8,000 now.
Yeah, that's PvP.
Every fucking time it happens without fail. Oh man.
Yeah. It's like The Simpsons. I was elected to lead, not to read.
Oh my god. Belts aren't there. This was the same thing we heard before.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, man, they just need to take belts. They need to give them visuals and then let them put us on let us put them on our heads. They need head belts, like Quail Man.
Anywho,
I'm just trying to save the speed belt for all the speed belt purchasers. Just only the speed belt then. Only the it could be the speed belt, but it's on your head.
Anywho,
don't tell me I'm wrong. I'm not.
Sure, Jan.
And then that was pretty much it. They just show us like the ring slots, the weapon slots, you know, all the stuff we knew before. The very attractive looking armory chests with all those empty fucking slots. We got Make It Rain on Monday.
Yep, they go through pretty much the schedule in like up to pretty much Endwalker.
And past it. They go all the way to Heaven's Star.
Well past it.
Yeah. That's when they, Media Tour mid-September. The Noctis event returning on September 13th. Launch early access. All Saints Wake at the Halloween is a month late. Like, listen, we fucked up the calendar.
All Saints Wake is not a Halloween event.
No, it's not.
I didn't say that.
It reminds me of when Mel got our anniversary wrong by a month. Except she was a month early, not a month late. And yes, she got it wrong, not me. I had a video proof of it. It was in the middle of Heaven's Word launch, June 20th. Came around and she's like, so when are we doing our anniversary? And I was like, next month. When our anniversary is? She's like, our anniversary is not next month. I said, yes, it is. 3 days later, she comes in and she goes, oh, I think you were right. I think it actually is in a month. And I'm like, can I get that in writing, please? I'm going to need this clipped, highlighted, need it in triplicate, in writing, please. Although we already celebrate our anniversary this year. So our anniversary is in 4 days.
Hey.
And I know that. Sorry, babe. Anyway, she's not listening. She doesn't watch this show. Most of the time.
One day she will.
She can also probably just hear me from the other room.
Right.
It's like, Haps, why is your voice getting so low when you tell this story, huh? Why are you lowering your volume so much in your own home? Nothing. No reason. Then they showed off the benchmark a little bit. They showed off Nail Vieira. And then they brought on Yoko Taro. No break in between.
The People's Champ.
So, here's the thing.
People's Champ. Okay.
I don't like any of his answers, but I thank him.
Of course you do. The entire FF community thanks him.
Yeah, pretty much, I'd say. Yeah, I mean, so Yoko Taro came out, and I will say that I think it was one of the more fun interviews. It was definitely one of the least formal, but it was also absolutely useless. More so than the other ones normally are. Because he doesn't like to discuss anything about his game. He always likes to leave his games open to interpretation. In this case, his raid open to interpretation. And so he won't say anything. He just won't answer any questions. He won't try to offer any clarity. He doesn't want that. He wants you to sit there and wonder what the fuck just happened, and maybe he'll figure it out. Maybe he'll be right. Maybe he'll be wrong. Who knows? I was at least hoping for him to say there's actually a secret ending that no one's found yet. And I'll be like, here we go. All right, let's fucking go looking. Let's go searching.
Have you seen a Yoko Taro interview?
I have now. I'm thinking back to like a Nier Automata where he was like, there's a secret nobody's found in like 10 years that this game has been out. It has been out for 10 years. You know what I mean? That since the game came out, and it's a secret ending. And it ended up just being like a programmed, like they programmed like like you had to like backflip into some boxes or something, and it just puts you at the end of the game. And it was on purpose. They put it in the game. It wasn't even like a glitch that somebody found. So, yeah. But no, there was none of that. Apparently, he was worthless during their testing phase for the 24-man. He was just dead.
Yeah.
He's like, why am I here? I'm just dead.
Why am I here? Yeah. Don't rest me. Why am I here?
He's testing what happens when you get hit by the mechanics, obviously. He's only dead because he was testing to make sure it worked properly. He's also a sadist. He wanted to make it so if you touched any balls during the hallway phase, the whole raid died.
I read that.
I jump over those balls for fun.
Is it? Yeah. Again, that's one of your favorite parts of that dungeon.
Yep. Wouldn't be anymore.
Sure wouldn't.
You know what I do? And I guarantee you a lot of people would do this. You'd send 23 people. You'd leave them at the beginning. You just send one person through.
That can actually make it and then teleport to him?
Yeah. And then just take the shortcut through. Because otherwise it would be bad news bears. Yeah.
You almost wanted to treat that shit like the Lubrum. Holy shit.
Yeah. Listen, I'm not entirely against it, just not in the duty find. Oh, man. And then what else was there? I mean, there's not really anything else. They just keep asking him, like, will you do any mounts or weapons? And he's like, if you pay me. Like, pay me to do mounts and just Yoshi P. If you pay me, I'll do it. And just give me money. And he's like, we might be able to do it without you. It felt like a lot of Yoshi P being like, yeah, I think the team can handle that. like, I don't know if we'll see each other ever again. It's like, thank you, Yoshi P. And that eventually culminates in Yokotaro being like, I'm gonna apply to be on the Final Fantasy 16 scenario team.
Yeah, sorry about that. We're done with this.
Dude, it'd be funny if they actually weren't done. Like, all the shit he said here is actually bullshit, and he's just like, I need to stop this guy.
Yeah.
He's just like lying. It's like, hey, well, I checked and you actually aren't done. And be like, oh, would you look at that? But now we're done.
And I like the fact that, you know, Yoshi P like volunteers information past that. He's like, oh, we're about to finish the recording for the English voice acting for 16. Did you really have to say that?
Yeah.
Like, is that something you had to let people know? I mean,
Yeah.
you didn't, but sure, we'll take
Taro
that.
won't be applying. He's just convinced him that there's no point in applying.
And then I feel like Yoshi P digs himself even further. Like, hey, there's not going to be anything at TGS.
He said they don't think they'll make it. They said they still, like, they might, but they don't think they'll make it. Because he wants something playable right after you see it. So probably a demo. Yeah. I'm telling you, man.
And after that, and that's the point when he says, you know what, I've said too much. Let me shut up.
I mean, it's the same bullshit. He obviously knew he was going to say this stuff. This wasn't right. Unexpected, but it's a classic Yoshi P, like, you know, oh my god, I've said too much. I guess I'll be quiet now. Yeah, so, I mean, we might have a demo sometime soonish. I will say, so at the Square Enix E3 event, 16 wasn't there, but at the end they do like a coming soon section, and it was 16, Forspoken, and Avengers. I'm sorry, Avengers. Guardians of the Galaxy. And Guardians of the Galaxy we know is October. So, how soon? That's all I want to know. How soon? Can't tell me things like this and not have me ask questions. I need to hear Hiroshi Takai. I need to put that man in front of a microphone, please. So yeah, that was it. And then they were like, okay, well, I leaked something, you leaked something. He goes, our new game is not a mobile game. That's it. And he's like, why did I say more? This is supposed to be about you. It's like, yeah, well, it's not. Because I was like, I am the hero that we only came here for 16 leaks. That's it. That's the only reason I even came to this interview was for 16 leaks. But I'm excited. Yoshi P sounds like 16 is moving along well. It's moving along smoothly.
Yeah.
Smoothing along.
Yep.
If you will. There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, smoothing along. Yeah. And then we get the schedule for the next bunch of stuff as well.
Yeah. The live letter in September, the 66th live letter, will focus on battle. The 67th, that'll be in early November. Everything else.
I don't know if I'm just tired, but it sounds like you're saying sexy 6 and sexy 7. Wow. I don't know why. I was just, as I'm sipping the coffee, I'm like, it doesn't sound like he's saying 60. I think he's saying sexy. These live letters are going to be extra sexy.
No, not until nice.
Oh, that's right. We're only 2 away. They said they might even do a 68th live letter somewhere in that mix.
Oh, we'll get to it sooner then.
Yeah, dude. Bro, we'll be starting off 2022 with a good old 69. What a way to kick off the new year.
Yeah, boy. And then pretty much after that, they go through the whole spiel of events, the benchmark screenshot campaign. I don't know if anybody is participating in that, but there you go. Ends on the 26th of July. Free login campaign going until. This is weird. This is a little bit weird.
Why is
it's going until the 23rd. Like, doesn't it seem a bit? Why do I feel like free login campaigns are a bit shorter?
It's a pretty long free log. It's fucking 14 days of logging in. That's a pretty long campaign.
No, it's from the 9th until the 23rd.
No.
August.
But you don't.
That's what
you
I mean.
can't. Yeah, I understand that. But I mean, they need to make sure you have the requisite. Like, they need to make sure that when you start, you actually have the 2 weeks.
That's what I'm talking about. Not the amount of time you can log in.
They're both pretty long for a free login campaign.
Yeah, the time frame. Yeah,
it's not short. They're both pretty long.
But I'm saying in the past it's felt shorter. So why did they go a little bit longer?
Because they have a long time till November.
Yeah.
You got a long way to go until November is why.
Yep. And pretty much after that, they go into their QVC spiel, Death Unto Dawn soundtrack. Need to pre-order that.
Wind up Lena.
Yep. The Yorkshire Collection. Have you ever gotten one of those?
Nope.
Have you ever gotten? Oh, okay. Just checking. And then they show off 2 models of Darumas, which that, like, when I saw the silhouette, I'm like, that's a Daruma. Why are we getting Darumas? And we're getting a we're getting yeah. Why?
I don't know.
The black one I'll take. I'll take the black one.
I'll take the Amazon.
Of course you would.
Hold on, he's trapped.
Yeah.
He has my money. Yes.
Yes.
Don't you shake your head no. You tell me what else they announced.
Okay. So there's the Darumas. And then they have the how many of these collaborations have they had?
Ask Soken. I'm sure they're for him.
Yeah, he knows. but the Lawson, Chicky campaign, the Chicky Nuggy campaign. Yeah, they black pepper flavor and tartar sauce flavor, and yeah, it's chicken.
It's chicken.
Chicken.
I like chicken. Sly.
Yeah. I love chicken too.
Give me chicken. No, eggplant today. Eggplant for me.
Nah, I had Peruvian chicken. Yeah.
After that, they just do their exit. Yokotaro says he's a big fat liar and everything he said today was a lie. He even warned us at the beginning that everything he said would be a lie. So, the liars can't say they're... Yokotaro. Yeah. Meanwhile, Yosuke Saito, who was also on the thing, who was also a pleasure during the interview, is just like, man, this was really great. I'm glad that there's a lot of people who started playing these games because of each other, and I want to be in another Mahjong stream, and I'm going to win next time. Yokotaro's like, I'm a liar. Liars tell lies, but if a liar is lying about lying, aren't they telling the truth? Who knows? Leave me alone. Thanks. Throws a solid thanks out there at the end. And then Yoshida just says we have almost all the data for 6.0 and just have to implement everything and check. We'll be getting that live action. We'll be getting the action trailer in September, the media tour, and a bunch of other stuff. So please look forward to it. Hi. There you go. Classic.
And then of course, after that, I don't know how many hours or if it was right after, but we got a Q&A.
Yep.
And again, I haven't had a chance to really dig deep into the QA, but I know you did. And what were a few things that that caught your eye from the Q&A?
Well, so some of the things are just people trying to dig deeper. in this. By the way, shout out to the Reddit Discord. We've been using their translations for this. Illuna, Miuna, the whole crew that are always working on that. So thank you to them. And they did this Q&A section as well. Excuse me for needing to clear my throat. It's been like this every afternoon. Like around this time for some reason, this just starts happening to my voice.
Just get congested, yeah.
Yeah, it's super annoying. I think it's the coffee. So, like, they asked, is Savage on Christmas? And he said, yeah. Pretty much, it's exactly when you think. He already said that earlier during the thing. They asked about double caster comp and why it's become more standard. And they said it's not on purpose or anything, you know. They just try to make sure nothing's excluded, but sometimes ranged are better for fights, so... Jesus, I can't shake this, man. Hell, let me get myself one good mute and just go. There we go. Let's see if that works. All right, I feel a million times better. That was a good idea.
There you go.
It'll be back in like 30 seconds, just so you know. There we go. Yeah, simple solution. Don't celebrate Christmas. They just said that if this is becoming too much of an issue, they just need to pay closer attention so they can make sure it really doesn't matter what job you bring. Housing, can you turn off the lighting in the basement separately from the lighting in the rest of the house? Listen, for setting the mood, that could be a pretty big deal. Like, what if you've got like a normal like area at the beginning, but you want that club downstairs, you want that dark, dank club downstairs, and you don't want the whole house to have to be dark. You know, sometimes people want to step out in the hallway, call their friends. You know, they need to find the bathroom. You know, it doesn't have to be dark all the time. You know what I'm saying?
People do a good job of it currently.
Listen, I'm just thinking of how it can be more convenient. It's an aesthetic choice. Right? Yeah. We're busy. We spent a whole 15 minutes on a show about how no one can get a house, and this dude's like, yeah, my lighting is off. Can we dye the Chocobo Racing mask? That's the most Chocobo Racing related things we've heard in a live letter or in any event, and it's just, can I dye the mask?
Frosty, that you?
No, I don't think he queued in.
Was that you? Was that you, Frosty?
Oh, man. Will there be Meister action adjustments? I think that's translated for, what are the crafting, the specialist actions? I think that's just the specialist actions.
Yeah.
They just said there's going to be more changes sooner or later. Like, just please look out to it. Can both of our ninja weapons be different? Or can we get a ninja weapon that's two different weapons instead of one weapon that's the same design twice? And he said apparently that's very difficult to do because it's essentially doubling the workload for making the weapon.
They said, they said it's possible, though. They said it could. Yeah. But it's definitely difficult,
So it'll just be a loss of quality. People trying to figure out, like, oh, is Reaper synergy or selfish? I'm like, I'm not going to tell you that. Come on now. Will we be getting, since they're separating pure healers and shield healers, will they get main tank, off tank? They actually specifically said no to this a few months ago.
No.
Yeah. They said that tanks are just tanks.
And they still say no. Yeah.
Yeah.
They say it's not impossible, but now, no.
Yeah. Will there be a Fey'Ul minion or any new updates on the Pixies? Maybe, but there's no plans for right now. So people just want to make sure Fey'Ul stays with us when we leave the first. That's all.
She's cool.
Why aren't there more squadron dungeons available? Like, why do they skip around? And I forgot about this because I'm recording a video right now how to do 1 to 50 on a new job, like, you know, in just a secondary job. And squadrons are a big part of that. I mean, squadrons are literally 20 to 50 for me in that video. And so, it's kind of weird. It's just because the squadrons aren't designed for specific dungeons. So you just throw them in and, like, they're just god tier, like, they're super powerful. And so because they're not designed for specific dungeons, they cut out dungeons that they thought would be too annoying to do with squadrons. That's all. Nothing too fancy. Then there's some PvP questions in here. And this one's just like, so why do we feel neglected so much about PvP?
Look, we're working on small scale. You're getting that. Shut up.
Pretty much. Yeah, he says that it's not like they haven't been getting the feedback. They just like they observe it and they use it, but they don't necessarily do that. But they are working on the new small scale, so like the rival wings adjustments haven't been as high a priority. But just know we do see your feedback, and that's it's fine. It'll
Shut
be
up.
fine. Yeah, please.
Shut up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we get Lisa's costume, or more VR hairstyles. They said, we're always adding things. It'll take some time, so please be patient. Also, the stubble, they are still working on it. We will get stubble at some point, but it's tough. Experimenting on various methods of implementation, but it's quite forced. So they're still trying to figure out how to incorporate the stubble. Do you have any food you're hooked on? Veggies. That's it. He just says he's like a rabbit. Just eats veggies. Not for the other reason people are compared to rabbits. Two very different reasons people compare themselves to rabbits. Can we get the Papaga emote? And they said, we're working on it. Even Matsuno went, hello? When? I like that Matsuno is just like, Yoshi P?
Yeah, for those who don't know, the Papaga emote is the one where she sticks her tongue out and stretches her lips. Yeah, from Zadnor.
like Tequila's one in the chat.
Yeah,
that one. That's pretty accurate. Yeah.
Yeah. And
so probably. So you won't state like how you get it, but that they'll almost certainly be doing it. Shadowbringers NPC costumes on the Mog Station. They don't have any plans. They always do these. These are kind of like reactionary. They just do these over time. Some people want the Chai's outfits, and he's like, does that mean, do you have to be fat? Like, can the outfit just make you fat? Because, like, it's only designed to be on her model. Like, we don't have, like, a not her size version of the outfit. So, maybe?
I mean, we have Rose size, and we have...
No. Dulia Chai is the specific one they're referring to.
I mean, I understand, but I think it's possible. He
said, I can't imagine you playing Monk while glammed this way.
Why?
Listen, as a fellow fat person, I will say that I will definitely play Monk if you let us glam this way. I will be etherically dense as you have given me the option.
Okay. Will exploration for Dunskate exploration mode for Dunskate be implemented? The debugging cost is kind of high. They didn't say it's not possible in the future, but
they said they're working on it, but it's just kind of a pain right now. So like it's eventually, but not yet. Skinny Hrothgar. I like how we went from the fat question with Hrothgar and can we make a fat question with the glam to a skinny question with Hrothgar. He just says nope. They are built this way, and that will not change. They thick.
They thick boys.
And then please tell us about what you pay attention to most on your Black Mage gear, like what stat you like to meld the most. And he had a long answer about this. He was like, dude, I looked it up on the balance, and they were like, there's these different spell speed. No, he didn't say that. But he's just like, he likes spell speed. He just likes to do fast Black Mage casts. He never goes for the high crit builds. He prefers high spell speed builds. And then he mentions again, people just don't seem to understand how... He said they might have to demonstrate the stat squish again in the battle live. I mean, to be fair, it's probably the best place to show it, because it's actually showing it instead of just saying it again. But it's just funny. He's like...
But you understand that this won't even do...
He even says that. He's like, I don't see that changing much. He's like, they still don't fucking get it.
Right.
Oh, man. Will we get the new appearances from the Shadowbringers NPCs as minions? He says, which first? But yeah, he's like, everyone wants minions. We like to do minions. Parsing on Dancer on dummies sucks because of Esprit not being reliable without a partner. He says it's not impossible, but please ask again later.
Yeah.
Will the downscaling affect deep dungeons? But they're gonna. They said it will, but they're gonna be making adjustments. And they wonder what the extent will be. Yeah.
They said that early on when they were first talking about it too.
Yeah. So that's not much of a surprise. Have you been sleeping well? Yeah, that was it. Then they pulled in another 23 people. Will Dancer Gunbreaker get Senior Sabotender weapons? No, but they'll tell the team. Can we turn sleeves on and off on our gear like we do headgear? And he's... Such a question, man. He's like, I don't think it'll be popular. But yeah, I don't think we'll do that. Oh, man. Will we be able to exchange Shadowbringer's PvP equipment using honors? They're currently working on the new... All the PvP questions are, I'm sorry, please wait for PvP news.
Yeah.
Will we get the 3-man Mahjong mode?
3-man Mahjong.
See, I saw you read that ahead. I saw your face light up when you read that.
Dude, koi.
Koi. Hey, man, we still don't know what that Gold Saucer update's going to have. What the game is going to be. We don't know.
That's true.
It won't be koi.
Probably won't.
Nope, not a chance. Will scholars get a new skill that's a speed increase? They're like, I'm not going to fucking tell you. Bro, wait till September. Come on.
Right.
I like this question. Can we get the ability to sync our dummy to a specific level so I can practice my rotation in lower level content? Specifically for Ultimate. Like, I want to do the level 70 Ultimate. I want to practice my level 70 rotation, but I don't want to have to queue into something that's 70 to do that. And so they're going to discuss it because it makes a lot of sense to do this, especially for Ultimates. This is a solid question. I like this.
Yeah.
And I agree. I really think they should just add, because we have dummies technically. The thing is, honestly, if Stone Sky Sea just synced you, it'd be fine. You could sync to 70 in Stone Sky Sea. Like, that would be fine, in my opinion. But they don't. Stone Sky Sea doesn't sync you currently. So maybe that's the solution. Just make Stone Sky Sea sync, or give the ability, or add something else. I don't know. But I think it's a good idea. Glamour Dresser is shitty. That's the next one. He calls it clunky, to be fair. I call it shitty.
Yeah.
And
does not feel user friendly, is what we're saying.
Yeah,
but
shitty.
Shitty.
Yeah.
Shitty.
Pretty shitty.
Yeah.
Pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then he just goes, it's important, but we'll look into your request, please. Aloha. I'm in the middle of... Hey, I'm in the middle of something. You want to be on the podcast? Hey, buddy. Hey, you want to be on the podcast? Hey. No, don't go.
Cat appearance.
Cat, don't run. Don't run. Aloha. Hey. Yeah. No, don't run. Okay, I can't pick you up like that. Oh, but I can pick you up like that. No, you got to run. All right. Sorry.
Next one. Let's say you go independent, and you're no longer with SE as staff. What game would you make from scratch? Like, yeah, I don't have the money for that.
Said another MMO.
He's like, yeah, basically. It's like, but yeah, I don't have the money for that. What the hell are you talking about?
I like how it wasn't like the question isn't assuming you're a fucking billionaire. Like, it's a figurative question. He's like, oh, I couldn't afford it. It's like, that's not what Yoshi, that's not what we're asking. We're not just asking you to pull a fucking game out. Leave it to Yoshida to somehow derail that into a question about finances.
Yeah, he thinks that's what we're asking.
Yeah.
He thinks. What brand of cigarettes does he smoke? Heaven Mile, Lark, Lucky Strike, Camel. Damn,
that man smokes a lot of cigarettes. I've seen him at conventions go on cigarette breaks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It's not even a break. It's like it's a convention that Yoshi P he smokes and then attends the convention in between smokes.
Yeah. His convention is his break.
Yes, from smoking.
Yeah. Yeah.
They ask about a song name at a specific point, and he's like that.
3.
Yeah, he's like, you didn't give me a specific enough point, so I'm not gonna let you tell me now. I'm gonna move on. I like how the person's sitting right there in the instance. He could be like, "Can you be more specific?" And instead, he's like, "No, fuck it. I gotta move on."
No.
Auras, their earrings are hard to see while you adjust, and he goes,
We'll look into it.
Maybe.
We'll look into it.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Will there be any jobs to get a lot of job changes? He said there will be, but he's not going to say which one.
Please look forward to it.
See you later, summoner. Then he asked if there were any other races other than Vieira Hrothgar they were considering when they were considering them as the quote-unquote final races. He said maybe Lizardmen, which would have probably been the Bunga, if I had to guess, as an option.
Yeah.
But, oh no, the Lizardmen shown shown before the first expansion. Okay, never mind. Okay, yeah, not even the Bunga. So, I mean, the Bunga would have made sense, but it's like, I don't even want to think about it anymore.
I think he would have leaned towards Bonga even still. Like he kind of would have evolved into it just for fan reasons.
Yeah, I think so as well.
Yeah.
There's another question about sleeves. There's two different questions about sleeves. Will you have hand equipment that forces shirts with long sleeves to half sleeves? A lot of people really like sleeves. That glam game, man. People are like trying to get their sleeve game. Like, listen, I can do so much, but these sleeves, though.
These sleeves, man. Sleeves need long sleeves.
I need it. He said no. It won't happen. No. It's very difficult to do.
You're not in the office. No. Stop it.
Yeah, he says like they did it by accident a couple times. Like it works like this, but that they've never done it on purpose. But maybe they can look into it and make it happen. Can we get the weathered weapons to be dyeable in Shadowbringers? Because he's right, we have weathered weapons that we've never been able to update to non-weathered. Mm-hmm. And he said, maybe. They have to iron out the details, but, maybe just discard the distribution of weathered items and make them dyeable from the start. And I'm like, yeah, probably a better idea considering you never updated them. So who's to say there even will be undyed or unweathered versions of them. They ask if you can flip, like horizontal flip the emotes, like the posing rangers.
The ranger poses.
Just so you can do the same pose, but do it the other way. You know.
Yeah.
He said not impossible, but it's gonna be tough. Yeah.
Yeah. So
I see that emote so much at your parties. This should be a quality of life change for your parties.
I guess for me. I guess so.
This is for you. This is for the Fox.
Lions Rampant in E12 is currently resolved through the use of TT strat. Was this intended by the dev team?
It's pretty close. Yeah, I don't know what TT. So I know all the different strats. There's line strat. I assume this is line strat, but I don't know if
yeah.
I don't know. I haven't kept up with E12 stuff. So line strat and what was it? Was it Wishy Wishy? Was it? It was something like that. I don't know. There was another strat that was like named after a website where the clip came from, or something. And I don't know which Billy. That's the one. Yeah. And I don't know which one of these that is. I'd assume that's Billy when they say TT. But I don't know. It's got to be one of those two. And those are both. I like both of those strats so much. But line strat, line lions. That's my fucking jam right there. I love that shit.
Next one is it possible to allow us to obtain Truth Seeker Shlo's weapon from Heavensward in the game? Sure, if you want to pay for it on the online store eventually.
Yeah, Matsuzawa is the woman he's afraid of, who is in charge of the item store. So
the empress, the empress of the online store, now formerly Mod Station. Yeah. It's like, yeah, gotta run that past her. The oof question. Oof. There's a lot of equipment in the game, but it feels such a waste where it's either we use them or glamour them. Is there another way for these equipments to be utilized like the glamour catalog? By the way, my glamour dresser is almost full.
Just shit all over with one question.
Oof. Like, damn, let me pull this dagger out of my heart real quick. Yeah. I mean, again, this goes back to, Well, it goes back to the earlier question a little bit about the glamour dresser and how it is. Now, Haps, how much are you into the end game?
Sly, my glamour has 1 plate and 5 items in it.
Okay.
Aloha wasn't a fan of that, apparently.
Yeah.
Hey, he just wants attention. Here, Aloha. Yeah.
They said they're bringing back the old idea of the glamour log. I mean, they wanted to do so. Cannot include them all because it's too full and the data cannot handle it. I mean, if we somehow make it recorded, it'd be nice, but we're definitely out of space to have saved such data. So we definitely want to realize it one day. But again, it says, ouch. I'm just going to say, oof. Sorry.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
Sly, you might need to keep being the one to do the questions in case you couldn't tell.
Yeah. Will we see implementation of housing items such as landscape or scenic wallpapers like the Azim Step, for example? Not an issue. We'll look into it.
Yeah, I thought they were going to do that anyway because they have that already. The like projections in the thing. Yeah, those are really good.
Yeah, I don't really utilize them that much.
There's not enough variety.
In my person. Right.
Like if you what if you could get one that was like a city night sky or something?
Yeah. That'd be nice.
Be nice.
I'm enjoying Mahjong a lot. Is there a way for players to set up Mahjong tables in the FC house or play Mahjong in a light party format? Dang, I really love fucking Mahjong. Shit.
This was done on the JP data center where I assume Mahjong has a higher popularity than it does over here.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like the 3-man Mahjong idea or watching Mahjong play through audience mode, we did indeed lay those ideas on the table, and if we're going to work on it, it'll be 6.0 and beyond. But you'll have to wait for Koi Koi.
There's going to be no Koi Koi Sly.
Koi Koi.
Not going to happen.
Koi. Oh, an us question. Will there be more friend slots implemented in the future? There's only about 7% of the player base fully filled to 200 friend slots. Hi there.
Hey, I almost have 2 characters with that done.
Yeah. But we do acknowledge it's a commonly requested feature, so we need to look into the latest data and we'll look into it. That's it. I feel that's like a Lucky Boncho kind of thing, maybe?
Bro, I'm not even going to lie. That is the least of my concerns with the friends list. The social feature as a whole needs an entire overwork. Like from the ground up, the whole thing needs to be redone.
Are you talking social or
the whole social tab?
Community?
The entire social tab, like the friends list, the blacklist, all of it needs to be reworked from the bottom up. It is awful. Like even just think, Sly. Do you not also hate deleting people from your friends list because you have to load all 200 of them?
Yes.
And then also when you add someone, it has to load them all before they're successfully added.
Yep.
They need to redo it from scratch. It's like this in the process would be a good time to do what's being asked out here, but the whole thing needs to be done again. Like if there's anything lagging behind, it's this.
Yep.
And that's it for
Q&A. That's it for Q&A. Yeah.
We get to have a character glamour costume as a reward from a 6.0 fate. They threw that in there in the end. Just he said that. Nobody even asked. He just said that. I guess probably because they had a question that was related to it before.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in the process, the mailing system could probably use an update as well. So, like, there's a lot of those old systems that haven't been touched in ages, and they're not good. And that's among them. So. Aloha seems interested in all of this stuff, thankfully.
Is he, or is he more interested in what you're doing?
I mean, he's the one who meowed to come over here.
Yeah. So, all in all, I think that's pretty much majority of the news we got from the 14 hour. I think there was some other stuff.
Yeah, there's like a Soken play-by-play session where he talks about the music from a few different things. There's some interesting stuff there. But for the most part, this pretty much covers everything.
Yep.
And overall, it was weird because it wasn't that insightful of a live letter, but it was still
interesting nonetheless.
Yeah, it was still interesting nonetheless. Whether it be the Yokotar getting us some 16 leaks, or the benchmark surprise, or even just some of the random stuff in this Q&A. It was a pretty good. Yeah. It was pretty good. No one I know was like, "Oh my God, is it over yet?" From a 1 hour long QVC session. Oh boy, am I glad that didn't happen. Maybe some point in the show.
You just weren't. You just weren't that tired. That's the thing. That's the difference between that QVC session. You weren't.
No, tired. I would have been upset about that if it was 3 in the afternoon. Yeah. I don't even care. Mm-hmm. So that's it. Aloha, are we good? Can I do my outro?
I think he says no.
I don't know what that means. You gotta make up your mind, Aloha.
Neither.
All right. Either way, I'm not speaking into the microphone. I have to turn all the way this way to do so. But while he sits here, it was a good show. Slide.
Yeah.
So
yeah, agreed.
For next show, I don't think that this will be ready still for a little bit for 5.55. So I'll see if I can get a status update from him about how he's doing on that front. If he's still nowhere close to getting 5.55 stuff done, maybe I have it on high show. Do dungeon show. I gotta figure that out in the next day or two because I can't take that long to set that up.
Yeah.
So those are some shows that we shall heavily consider going into future weeks. But November's getting here, man.
Don't remind me.
It's getting here. I just reminded you.
Thanks.
I know you asked me not to, but I felt like I must do it. All right.
I don't think I felt the weight of like a fall kind of release window as I have this year.
That's you, Aloha. He's staring at himself. He's like, who's that fucking cat right there?
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't felt it either. I've been too busy, in all honesty. And that's for the better. New World has its closed beta next week. Ayaka finally comes out next week, so I can do that whole thing. Chris Tales comes out next week.
Chris Tales next week.
Make It Rain event starts on Monday. That's why, like, I have like 2 or 3 more attempts on Heaven on High, and I'm just out of time at that point.
Yeah.
The Steam Deck. I'm not buying that fucking thing. Oh man, no chance. Anyway, it was a good show, Sly. Thank you for joining me for our little discussion as always. And aloha. I'm gonna sign off now, buddy. So, for anyone wondering, we just went over our schedule stuff. We're looking at those types of potential shows. You really want me to pet you that bad? That was the solution right there. That was it. Go nuts. Go nuts. Hello? He wants me to brush him. Lazy fucking cat, man. Lazy fucking cat. So anyway, that's going to be a wrap for us this week. And a wrap for you. Don't you fucking look at me like that. Don't you fucking do it. There you go. Since we've already been over what we'll be doing for the next week, thank you again to our sponsor, Steel Series, and those over on Patreon as well. But Sly, while we wrap up, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you at?
You can find me at twitch.tv/Sly, aka Grey Fox. You can find me on Twitter at Sly the Fox. I am currently losing myself in Monster Hunter Stories 2. This week has kind of been my week. I might need to, go over a few things again. Of course, SRW30 got announced for the West, so you don't have to import it anymore. It'll be on Steam. You can pre-order it now, and we're getting the full premium song and sound version, but you gotta pay $100 for that. But I still pre-ordered it anyway.
Yeah, I need
the Persona 25th anniversary stuff is on sale. You can go check out the Persona 25th anniversary site. There's a lot to kind of speculate from that, so we might talk about that again. Again, like he says, I'll be doing Chris Tales. I'll be doing Chris Tales, and then after that, I guess I have a bit of a break before September, maybe, and I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, quite a bit of things going on, and of course I'll be here. Of course, station WSOY every Saturday. Yeah, thanks. We're busy. We're staying busy. We're trying to.
Oh yeah.
Haps, what about you? What are you up to?
You find me fucking hating myself at twitch.tv/MrHappy1227. I've been doing Heaven on High solo attempts, and I've never seen so much bad luck find one person so far before. Never
Dude,
seen it.
Can we get a video of a Madden? Like, not even a Madden.
I just go look at my fucking broadcast from 2 hours ago.
I need a YouTube video of like an ESPN kind of NFL kind of commentary on where you went wrong.
I barely went wrong anywhere. The game went wrong.
Right.
Sly.
Right.
I opened a chest that was a mimic.
Uh-huh.
It dropped a chest that turned into a mimic.
A mimic. Yeah.
So then when I killed both those mimics, I went to another chest that was a mimic.
Uh-huh.
Oh, and when I killed that mimic that dropped the chest, you know what that was?
I'm gonna say strength. Was it a strength?
Mimic.
Okay.
And you want to know the irony about all 4 of those mimics? They were in a room that was 3 mimics. Like just normal, like walking around mimics. There were 7 mimics in that room.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh, and then I found a silver that blew up in my fucking face.
Did it end the run?
No.
Did that end the run? Okay.
No, my own lack of ability to get anywhere in the remaining 3 minutes ended the run.
Yeah. And he wants to do a Heaven on High POTD show.
I have plenty to say about it.
Of course he does. Yeah. Yep.
We'll see about making that happen.
Mm-hmm.
You can also find me doing things that don't piss me the fuck off at those same locations on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter,
like
all those
this.
places. Yeah, Sly is my therapy. Yeah. He is. Sly is my therapy. I have been on a tear on YouTube as of late. I've had a million ideas for videos, and right now I'm doing a speed level 1 to 50 video. And if anyone's wondering, I'm not done recording all the footage yet, but I'm level 29, a smidge away from 30 on Pugilist, and that took me like 2.5 hours, approximately.
There you go.
So once I post this video, hopefully that'll help all the new people that are trying to level jobs 1 to 50 and get that shit done ASAP. Oh, like secondary jobs. So that is going to be a fun one. And then I've got like requests. People still want another voiceover video. Like the monk one that I did. I want to do warrior next, but I want to add like sound. I want to add like reverb to like when I'm in inner release, so it sounds like I'm just yelling like 3 times as loud. Just like layer it and reverb it and some shit like that. So I want to do something fancy for that. Next week is something that's been 9 months in the making. I get to pull for Ayaka and Genshin finally.
Oh boy.
107,000 gems, 140 fates. I'm doing 1 pull at a time. I have over 1,000 pulls. I'm doing them 1 at a time. I have been waiting for this moment for so long. It was supposed to be a 2-3 month endeavor. I thought she would release earlier. She never did. Now she's going to be here on the 21st.
And you're doing all the pulls. All the pulls in one stream.
Yep.
Okay.
I am excited.
I can tell.
And you know what? You know why I'm really excited?
Why?
Because it won't be in Heaven on High during all that. All right. Now with that, we can wrap this stream the fuck up so I can go work out and then make some eggplant rollatini.
Hey.
That's what my day is about right now. So, thank you to everyone for tuning in. Thank you to everyone for enjoying the show. And we'll be back maybe next week. Probably not spoiler cast yet still. But maybe a deep dungeon show if I can arrange it. I'll see what I can do about that.
He might need therapy first.
I'm going to need therapy after. Because
Before and after.
this whole show was therapy. That is the anti-therapy.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So we'll see about that. But anyway, thanks everyone for tuning in. We will see you next time, whenever that may be. And until then, y'all have a good one. Take care.
See you soon.